ASL Prime League.
Final match of the night. The winner of this best of three moves on to the round of 8 with Patience to duke it out with Group C, at least the winners of Group C. Here we are on Orbital Shipyard. Bottom left-hand corner, from Team Extreme Supremacy, and Serbia, the Pink Terran player, Beastyqt. His opponent, top right-hand corner, from the USA, Murica, the Red Protoss player, Pure. We'll see how it goes down in Orbital Shipyard. Of course, there is so many adept pylon rush opportunities in Orbital Shipyard. Just like the reason Liberators are good, the reason Zerg contains on it are good, is the reason Protoss is the reason Liberators are good on this map is the same reason adept pylon pushes are good and round or roach pushes are good. Yes, you have a natural base. Yes, you have a pocket base. Only one way to get out, and it starts getting dicey. Starts getting dicey quickly if you can't. For now, though, I mean, maybe Pure is planning to put a proxy here. Maybe a pylon. Just looking for proxy racks himself. He knows Beastyqt is a capable Terran player who can switch it up. So far, style. We'll see if he brings out the mech, whatever happens. Mech is pretty darn good, but mainly TvT type stuff. SCV and Beastyqt, both players thoroughly scouting. They didn't just go onto the top of the ramp and kind of peek around like, someone here? Oh, good. Okay, cool. I go back home. It's just, okay, is someone here? I'm gonna look everywhere. You're not escaping me. Both players scout the entire 4th possible base positions for any proxies. There's the probe, gets in, and it sees a reactor. Pretty normal for the quick natural bases Terra, and you can start your double marine production, and pretty much sees everything cool. One refinery. The one thing about that, seeing that, is it's 2 marines, not 2 reapers, which may force out maybe an early stalker or keep the adept of Pure at home. Generally, when you see that quicker gas with the Reaper racks, you can do Reaper instead of the factory like we see Beastyqt, which does force the Protoss player to stay at home and be really wary of that aggression. But now that won't be the case, Beastyqt is going to hang out at home, get his bunker up, hope that we won't see what happened in Game 3 of the first series, Patience versus Beastyqt, where Patience the Protoss player in the situation, just contained him on 1 to 2 base and did a lot of damage with Oracles. We'll see if Pure takes a scrap from Patience's book. Opening up Twilight while we see Beastyqt looking like he's not doing a 1-1-1 build. He's just kind of meandering around, just getting up medevacs, I assume, for defense. Maybe he'll switch the racks. Actually, I think it'd be cool if he switched the racks onto the tech lab, pump out Marines, then get a Marauder, but we'll see. Off back of this Pure, covering his base completely. He's got 2 gateways on the way, a 3rd gateway, getting a depth shield upgrade and going for the Robo. I assume it'll be a Warp Prism Adept push. By the way, we see Cyclones on the way for Beastyqt, which, we'll see how that works out. I actually haven't seen that much in it. It was interesting because in early Legacy of the Void, which I mean like 3 months ago, basically everyone was trying out Cyclones as Terran. Didn't matter what the matchup was, but they really were trying that out against their opponents, and then it fell out of norm. They kind of just said, you know what, Cyclone's a more unique unit. We're going to use it in certain matchups. We're going to use it with our builds, or just get 1 or 2 for early defense. But now we're seeing certain players kind of try to use them more. So what we're seeing here, we see Cyclone range upgrade, I believe that is. Actually, not range upgrade, just damage upgrade. So, cool. Cyclone's on the way. The first Cyclone is not... Is it out yet? It is out yet, just guarding in the main, kind of blending in with the rest of the units. Yep, zoom in on that a little bit reminding us of the Hellion, but there's the Reaper in the main. Nice foot-in overcharge, kills it in 2 shots. KD8 charge, kills it in 3 shots, actually. Well, the Mothership Core was there. It's debatable. KD8 charge, though, little damage. Warp Prism attack is moving out now, and one sad thing is there's no probe with it. Even at this point in the game, you could provide yourself a springboard or just like a castle to defend outside that natural base in the 3rd base. Even at the 4-minute 45-second mark, you could throw down some pylons, and it doesn't matter what the Terran player does. We'll see if that is the case, though. Here's the drop moving in. Marines are ready. Cyclone is ready, but the Cyclones are not going to be able to lock on preemptively to stop the Warp Prism. Warping is going on. I mean, the Cyclones are there. They kill the Warp Prism hopefully early on. They lock on it. They'll start getting the damage on the Warp Prism. Doesn't get out, but there's so many Adepts currently in this. 9 Adepts will be surrounded, and Adepts are a little bit like roaches. They just take so much damage. They can focus down workers and not worry about dying for a little while. They will try to get a couple more in here. The Marines do finish cleaning them off. I'm not sure how many Marines went down. Total of 12 workers, 13 workers do go down. At the moment, it is 29 SCVs to 23 probes. So, yes, it did damage, but it's a little bit debatable how it kind of turned out. Maybe he should have thrown shades out earlier. I love the supply depot went down. It was like the perfect supply depot ever. Just, yeah, I'll get a free scout. Yeah, cool. But basically, maybe the Adepts wanted to throw their shade out early, so SCVs pulled, focused on some Marines, go into the natural base, kill some workers there. Because of the Cyclones, the Warp Prism was forced out and could not ferry them back to defense. Nothing like that. Now, though, are the opponent of those Adepts, Beastyqt, getting up a nice 3rd CC quite quickly, starting up his upgrades now. That's a big thing to note. There is only Cyclone damage upgrade. I think it's MAG something. What's it called? MAG Field Accelerator, or MAG Field Accelerator, but there's no bio upgrade. So this bio is pretty squeaky. I don't even know what squeaky means, guys. The situation. Bio is pretty squishy versus the Adept pushes. Is the 3rd base being taken? The Adepts should be able to identify that and not necessarily sacrifice themselves for ire, but they'll sacrifice themselves for, well, fewer. The Marine, they should scout it. Back over in the top right at Pure's base. Oh, see the shield? They may be able to just go into the main and bypass the army. Oh, they won't. Oh, and the coolest thing about Adepts, which I think is not fully always utilized, is that, let's say you're early Protoss, PV, whatever, you send the shade to the other side of the map, and while that's going on, you effectively have 2 units. You can get the Adepts out of there and cancel the shade. You can scout. In this situation, you could have got the Adepts out of there. In an early game situation, you can look for... You can look for just proxies anywhere. You can just do a lot of cool stuff. By the way, off the back of this, there was a Stargate producing the whole time. 2 Phoenixes are out on the map. A 3rd one is on the way, and I like those Adepts canceling the missile turret in the 3rd base, but oh! Only 2 sentries get down, and now that's 200. It's kind of awkward right now for Pure. 200 gas committed to the natural. Tickle everything to death, but the Cyclone locks on and will gun it down. Notice in the bank, for a second there was the 1,200 minerals, sadly, for Pure, but he's got a little bit of a bank here. He should take a 3rd base. In the previous PvP versus Patience, he was very hesitant, very careful. And yes, you can do that, but you got to be planning a big push off the back of that. For now, though, at least there's anti-air drops. I've seen Mass Phoenix. I've seen Puck do Mass Phoenix for Cyclone, and it all depends on the map architecture and how you pick up the just what happens with the Cyclones. It's a dicey situation, so Mass Phoenix good, but still a little dicey. Beastyqt making sure there's no gold base, no quick 3rd, nothing of the sort. Actually, probably no hidden 3rd or quick 4th in this situation, but won't be the case. Phoenixes pick up, beautifully pick up that, but that does alert Beastyqt, hey man, he's going into Phoenixes a little bit. These are not hallucinated scouts, nothing of the sort. And he will be moving out, and he's got the perfect composition against it. He does not need that many medevacs, and the Cyclones themselves defend the medevacs. So really, it's just a nice composition versus this, but they have to deal with the Adepts. Now, we see 2, is that 2-2? We actually see only +2 attack on the way and +1 armor. Stim is finishing, but this is the 8-9 minute mark. Normally, you see Stim and all that finishing a lot earlier for a Terran player. Generally, Stim packs finish, at least in TvP, like normally around 5-ish minutes, so it is about 4 minutes late, but he did get those Cyclones out pretty darn quickly. So that will be where his gas went, and Phoenix is good for this, but not if one Widowmine goes off. Survives with 20 health, and Beastyqt's just waiting to stim in. He's waiting so close. Oh, it picks off that Probin. What's cool about this Terran army is you don't need to commit to anything with Cyclones. You don't need to commit. You push in, you push out, and that's what beautiful. Exactly what the Adepts know. Oh, they won't quite commit to it. A little bit too much bio, but the Cyclones don't need to commit. They go in, they come out. They pick off units. That's why Immortals are not only good versus them Actually, technically, they wouldn't be good versus them because the original damage would get off with the Cyclone. But there's the Adept Shade forward. Some aggressive pylons trying to go down to put an overcharge. More Adepts on the right-hand side. We'll get a very nice full surround on this Bio Army. By the time that happens, the other Adepts were killed. There's so much Bio here. That 2-1, almost a couple seconds away from 2-1. And the Cyclones really be able to focus down a lot of these Adepts here, doing so much damage. And just GG. Beastyqt takes game 1. Welcome to Game 2. The player in the bottom left of Moonlight Madness. One game away from moving on to the round of 8 and being in the money. Round of 8 does assure you 50 USD US dollars. It is the Terran player Beastyqt. Kind of elongated that one. Observer didn't know where to go, but his opponent, top right-hand corner, red Protoss player, down one game. It is Pure. Pure really fighting for this well. Really showing he can keep up with these pro players. Both Plumerant and Pure just commenting when I was talking to them, hey, we didn't expect to get this far. We're just GM North American players having some fun, and they are pretty darn close to the money. Whoever wins this match, if it is Beastyqt moves on, Pure still would need to win 2 in a row. We'll see how it works out. Beastyqt, definitely the seasoned pro player. Really wanted to keep his career going. Beautiful scout by Pure, by the way, right there. Does see the SCV. We'll see if there's going to be a proxy there. That could honestly be a game-winning scout from Pure. But we'll see if it sees it. Yeah. Beastyqt still is a little bit unsure. He's actually making a Rax at home, so it would have to be a factory if it was any sort of proxy, but there's no natural base. At least it's not a quick natural in TvP from our Protoss player. There's the factory going down as the proxy. And, I mean, for Pure, that is amazing. It's just how he actually deals with this, how he decides to go straight for the SCV. The SCV is in a hairy position. He may actually die right here. Oh, if he's not careful. Got to be really careful. Factory denied. Denied completely. Even if it's canceled, it's still, what is that, 17 seconds in? I mean, it's the factory at home would have been about 30 seconds delayed now. Maybe even more if it never finishes. There's the cancel. Overall, like a 40-second delay on a factory at home, Beastyqt. He's just got to be okay with going back home and doing it at home. Or throw on a reactor like he is and taking a quick natural base. So, the probe never gives up. That is a true probe. He is a dedicated StarCraft player right there. That is the probe, not the player. Just the probe itself is dedicated to StarCraft, man. He loves Ire. What? SCV. He's not quite good enough, though. You have to believe, but you have to believe even more to scout it. For now, though, Beastyqt back at his side of the base, going double gas. Now, I assume he's going to go into Cyclones again. Worked very well game 1, and even though the factory was canceled, it was behind, but realistically, I don't think that's not the hugest deal. But, I mean, Pure may be going for a timing attack. We saw an early Twilight Council. Gateway's not quite added on yet, so it could be a decently big deal of you don't have enough to defend, but scans are good. Guys, the scans are good. Sees the Twilight. Doesn't see the Robo. Doesn't see the Dark Shrine. I take it back. Scans are crap. And, I mean, essentially what Beastyqt's got to be thinking is, cool, you're going for a Blink Stalker or Depth Rush. Push out some extra Marauders. Let's see how it pans out for him. This Marines, I guess, bunker. The Cyclones are good. Why even make Marauders when you go Cyclones, realistically? And for now, Beastyqt is kind of stuck on one base, which is a sucky thing. He's got his natural base, but he's waiting for a push to hit, which I don't think is going to hit. At least not going to hit for now. And maybe he'll defend the DT and he'll have the orbital command in his main, but still, Beastyqt's actually playing it too safe, I think. I think he could take a natural, throw down a bunker. Not seeing the SCV do that. I don't know, man. We'll see what he thinks is going down. It would be the it'd be the craziest thing if he thought it was a DT drop. But, I mean, DT drops can hit really, really early. I believed I had a chart on DT drops, at least in Legacy of the Void. I can't find it at the moment, but still, they can hit really early in Legacy of the Void. Beastyqt just getting up his upgrades, or maybe getting up a missile turret, maybe afraid of some oracles. It's still kind of awkward for him. I feel like he could have reacted a lot better, maybe went for a second scan to see really what was going on, whether the Twilight Council was working on something, or there was gates falling down, but For now, we see the move out of pure 3 DTs, and there's no missile turret in the main for Beastyqt. He does not quite have a scan. He's at 80 energy. He needs 100 to scan. The natural base is also at 80 energy and needs 100 to scan. There's no missile turret in the main. The one in the natural, we'll see how it goes down. The one in the natural, kind of awkwardly placed. It's a nice position, though. We'll see DTs are down, and dang, Beastyqt's getting scared. He will not quite have a photon overcharge. Not quite have a scan. If he just runs away with everything, he should be fine. But how many does he lose? There's the scan, barely in time. But the DTs just walk away really easily. There is no starport, so I mean these Marines could go down really quickly. All the scans are used up, and that's it now. Still two DTs are alive, and I mean they could start working away on these Marines really easily. As I was saying, no medevacs, nothing of the sort down, and this is like the worst position possible. This is a terrible position as Terran. Some players were saying maybe making scans only 75 energy. They will kill that DT in the natural, but so far they've picked up 12 kills. Currently, it's 23 SCVs to 31 probes, and finally the last DT's picked up. But for a minute there, I was really scared about that. SCVs did load up into the bunker. Really clever move, but now maybe going for a zealot drop off the back of this. We'll have to see. Charge is on the way back at Pure's side of the end. Side of the end. I don't even know where it's going with there. Back at Pure's side of the map. 35 probes, 27 SCVs. Kind of evening it up. But I'm still really surprised Beastyqt was that safe early on. I feel like he could have thrown out a bunker there and just held it with Marines, whatever he thought was going to come. Won't be the situation for now. Marine may be able to pick up this nice pylon. Yeah, there'll be the one warp in, but warp-ins take a ton of damage now. You can't aggressively warp in, which is something I feel like is not talked about too much, but that Marine can kill the Zealot warping. Yeah, it could actually kill the DT warping in. It's not invisible yet. That'd be the most ideal thing, but not gonna happen now, because there's the DT. You will thoroughly scythe that Marine into SCV, or Marine Heaven, or I guess Hell. Marine Hell, if he wasn't being a good boy, but we'll see about that. Warp Prism Pure, still looking to do some damage. He's just got the opportunity on the other side of the map, and he's actually got 2 of them, so he can do what he wants, and DT, missile turret or not, DT still gets a little bit of damage done, and maybe able to get out of there. Ideally, he'd cancel the supply depot. Won't quite happen, though, and oh, the missile turret! Oh! I wonder if the Cyclone is invisible. I'm kind of curious about that, actually. I thought it was far enough away, but maybe not. Not sure how the lock-on works to invisible units. For now, though, I'd really like to see Beastyqt move out, but the thing not allowing him is Pure still has 2 warp prisms. How he utilizes that, though, and if he's got the multitasking skills. Guys, Beastyqt is 1 game away from moving on to the round of 8. Here he moves out. He's got 5 Cyclones, which they themselves are going to do a lot of damage. 9 Marines, yes, in the middle of the map. He's posturing for an attack, but Pure does not quite know about this yet, which, it's a funny thing you say, well, if he knows about it, he can prepare. Well, if he knows about it, he may pull the Warp Prism back, may freak out, something of the sort. Not going to be the situation, though. Dropping the natural base, there is some Marines, there is Hellions back at home, surprisingly enough, and they will be able to defend, and there's the Immortal, as I was saying, just hard to get sniped. Beautiful scan on top, making sure there's no DTs. We'll be pushing into the natural base. Warp Marine, not the Marine, the Mothership Core is here. We'll try to get a photon overcharge off, but not quite enough. This is the situation where you need a lot of extra pylons. You don't feel like a terrible player to throw down pylons before you need them supply-wise. And for now, I mean, this natural base, Cyclone is just decimating it. There's a DT there, no scans at the moment, or at least none will be used here. And Beastyqt, I mean, he's got to be really careful. He may be able to pick up this Mothership Core, though. Oh! Gets away with 3 health. I'd love to see one Cyclone just rush in there just really quickly, trying to get the kill, but it's not going to be what happens. Natural base is defended through the photon overcharges. At the moment, not too many workers different, only a 4-worker discrepancy between the two. Beastyqt taking his 3rd, but I mean, really out of that, Beastyqt, he sacrificed his Marines, not his nicely upgraded Cyclone. So he's still got kind of half a composition, and how does he want to connect his puzzle pieces? He had Marine, Cyclone, now he can go into Marine Hellion, something of the sort, maybe doing a little better, but at 3rd base, both players going for 3rd base. That's always nice as a Protoss player. As any player, you see your opponent going for 3rd base, you already have units out of the map, you can start being aggressive, and oh, Zelts won't be saved, their life they will not get their Medal of Honor here. Little mines do go down, they will start to deny this Warp Prism, but it doesn't matter because it's already by it. And Cyclone will be sniped. This is the DT. I mean, this is a little bit dangerous for Beastyqt. If he doesn't pay really good attention, he will start losing things here and there. A little bit of friendly fire from the Warp Prism. Oh, I mean from the Widow Mines. But Prism does survive, and is that with shield upgrades, or is that with... Oh no, Widow Mine one-shots Oracles. That's what I was trying to think of. Widow Mine doesn't one-shot Warp Prisms. Oracles, but there is the Zealot charge, almost being able to run with a Jeep, but here's the run-by. Now, note these Hellions do not have Blue Flame, nothing of the sort. Kill some stuff, but realistically, okay, I like Beastyqt going Cyclones, but if we take a little quick look at the upgrade tab, he only has Cyclone upgrades. He does not have any Bio. So his bio is relatively weak. He doesn't have Hellion upgrades to go to Hellbats, whatever, and it's kind of... I like where he's going with it, but it's still... Where's his plan? Where's it coming together? We still don't see any upgrades, but for his opponent, which is pure, he's got Storm, he's got Warp Gate, what am I talking about? He's got Storm, he's got Charge. He does have some really strong Protoss tools, especially in Legacy of the Void, to utilize. Zealot Charge is great, and he's got these Phoenixes patrolling. No chance of drops, or realistically, I don't think there'll be going to be drops. I don't think a single medevac actually out on the map. I take it back. There are 2 medevacs, and there's the drop. What am I talking about, Drenok? In the natural base of Pure, there is a Widowmine drop. Beautiful feedback does go down, but the Phoenixes are not quite fast enough. The Phoenix is actually not even going to kill it. They could have killed it off right at the beginning. Oh, the Widowmine shots! Not good. And come on, Pure, you got this. You got this. Pick up the medevac. He could have denied the entire thing, but there, he picks it up. Very nice. We'll clean that up, and there's no more damage. Widowmines were taken out. Actually, no, 2 Widowmines still left. Only half the Widowmines were killed in that attack. They could do more damage, but off the back of that, Beastyqt moving out. Observer Pure does spot it really nicely. Armory is currently going down for Beastyqt. And I guess his choice is Hellbats, but he's not going to have the upgrades. He's not going to have any of the mech upgrades to really help out this force through damage. But like I was saying, Cyclones, you don't have to commit into an area where there's Photon Overcharge, where there's storms. You can kind of press forward and press back, and that's why Phoenixes suck versus Colossi. Versus Cyclones. For now, though, guys, remember, Beastyqt's 1 game away from moving on. He's got to be really careful about the storms. Storms are quite good. There's only 160 health. Cyclone's a little bit reminiscent of Roach health, but still, Storm's devastating if he's not careful. They are quick, though. We'll have to see. Warp Prism goes down, and a beautiful scan actually will catch both those observers, denying the majority of the map vision. 2 more DTs are being warped in, we see. Hoping maybe to just kind of pull Beastyqt back and allow Pure to get into a little bit better position. Give him some room to move around. Pure, though, I mean, he does have a big economic advantage, 1,200 minerals a minute to the 900 of Beastyqt. Even with his army is scary. His army will be moving out while we see Beastyqt trying to take his 4th base here. And again, he doesn't have mech upgrades, so I'm a little bit worried about him. And this is going to be 100% micro the next battle coming up. Charge Lot Storm, or Charge Lot High Templar versus these Cyclones is going to be very, very micro heavy. Plus the DTs, man, that's just annoying. So many scans have been spent where, yes, they don't cost mules, but still at the same time, you got to be very careful about your scans, especially since there's not a single Raven, out on the map at the moment. 1-1 is on the way, which will face Zealots that have charge, but they're unupgraded. This is not the quick double forge into 3-3 charge lot Archon that you do in PvT where you hit like 11 minutes in, where you hit in at least Heart of the Swarm wise, not Legacy of the Void wise. I don't know what it'd be Legacy of the Void, but this is not a timing attack. Pure, he's got a nice army, but this 4th base of his is going to be scouted, and it's actually maybe a really nice opportunity because the rocks are not down. If Beastyqt attacked into this base, there are no robo reinforcements from the back of it, but there's literally not a single robo unit in the army at the moment. No Immortals, no nothing, but still he could get pressed up against a wall, which is where Cyclones start to really pay for themselves. When your opponent is pressed up against a wall and they can't retreat out of it. See though, beautiful catches and a nice storm. Actually does a lot of damage, but barely the Cyclones can actually outrun Charge Lots, I think. Charge Lots do get 1 shot off onto the Cyclone. They get 1 shot off onto Hellions too with charge, but after that they are not quite fast enough. They use all their Usain Bolt juice and then just kind of hit her out from there. I like how Beastyqt is expanding, but it's still a little bit of a dangerous thing on Moonlight Madness. I've actually never seen a Terran player take that base right there. So we'll see how it works out in PvT. Very nicely canceled. Nice storms, but actually the storms fall right on top of the Protoss army, doing a lot of friendly fire damage. Some SCVs are being pulled to be able to help these Cyclones, and the Zealots are there, but the Zealot charge is already gone. The Archon's doing really well for themselves. Storm is all this army has. The Archons actually, I take that back, not doing really well for themselves. The Vikings turn a posture and get a nice position out of these Phoenixes. They will be able to get that, but man, Pure, that aggression was 100% Storm. There's only one Storm. Take that back, 2 storms by the time Cyclone pushes in again. Not Cyclone, what am I talking about? By the time Beastyqt moves in with Cyclones. But that army survived because of storms. Off the back of this, we see Tempests from Pure, but he doesn't have a massive army to trade away into another massive army. He doesn't have gateway units to help the Tempests. He has this very small force, which he's hanging on, but I don't know if he can break Beastyqt, especially with this. Especially that Pure doesn't, I don't think he has any air upgrades. Yeah, no, none at all. At the moment, finally, Cyclone gets up to 1-1, but no air upgrades. No upgrades, at least 1-1-esque upgrades for Pure. This is a situation I've seen a lot in Legacy of the Void. Now, I'm not completely sure why. The feedbacks were good. Photon overcharge? I'm not completely sure why I've seen that happen. But I've seen just a lot of games where neither player actually goes for their upgrades, or the 16-minute mark they start getting those upgrades. I'd be curious to see what the average times for 1-1 upgrades are to at least start or finish. Whether it's a lot later or just certain matchups, your gas goes to Cyclones or your gas goes to High Templar or whatever, but both players I feel like could squeeze it out really if they wanted to. If you look in the top right, they both float in about 200-ish gas and maybe like 400 minerals between them. For now, though, there's not many places that Beastyqt can go with his 20, was that 26 workers? Are you kidding me? Like right there, was that 26 workers killed? Is it working? I guess 26 workers were killed right there. There's a lot of workers killed, man. Wasn't even quite paying attention, but that is literally a good half the economy of the Protoss player. He was up in probes now, or before, but is not now, and beautiful. Vikings are starting to really make this Cyclone Hellbat composition really potent. Off the back of this, like I was mentioning just before, I saw there was 4 workers killed. It's crazy, man. But there is a 1,200 mineral bank now for Beastyqt. He could go into Hellion, something off this. I don't think he needs to, but he's still got the option to go into something big if he needs to. Tempests just start to do their damage. Nice storms, but remember, this army survives completely off of storms. As long as the Beastyqt doesn't clump up or get caught under a time warp, he's going to be okay. But there he gets caught under a time warp, maybe a storm, not quite. 2-2 is on the way. 7 Hellions, like I was mentioning, which will probably turn into Hellbats. Maybe go for some counterattack somewhere. At the moment, guys, both players have killed 50 workers apiece. 49 workers, 49 probes, that is, 59 SCVs. So both players have really slugged it back and forth. And even though I was saying Pure relies purely on these High Templars, he can defend for a very long time. I'd love to see him go into something else sneaky, like just go to, like, I'm going to go Mass Immortal something. But, I mean, Immortals just cannot keep up with the Cyclones. So you got to go air to be able to counter them. Hellbat push will get pushed back. Oh, the scan, just barely good enough. 2 more GTs morphed in, though. That's yeah. Pure does a beautiful storm right there. There's still a lot from Beastyqt. I'd love to see him move down his ramp and maybe get us around on these units, but that doesn't matter right now. Weather's Record not right position to teleport home if needs to. Now a small pack of Cyclones before, but oh, they get High Templar. So wow, they get High Templar. It's not even storm. It's just High Templar. They get High Templar. It's so easy right there. There's enough Vikings to just pick apart these Tempests, but I gotta be really careful about the storms. Still, Beastyqt is doing really well for himself. This composition is surprisingly good, but oh, all the High Templars go too far forward right there. That was a really sucky move command right there for Pure. He loses a lot, and there's nothing being made off the back of this. There's 5 Zealots somewhere, 3 High Templar. That was like 9 or 10, and there. The GG, guys. Beastyqt moves on to the round of 8 of ASL Season 5 Prime League Legacy of the Void Beta.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.